Hello everyone, my name is Edgar. I had a plan this year to start a resolution for art. Last year I did triathlon training. I really wanted to lose weight and get into shape. So a lot of the things that I learned last year, I'm gonna apply this year to art. And this is kind of my way of reaching the next step, at least in a new subject. So I'm gonna go into my plan here in a second. All right, so basically last year the biggest thing I learned was develop a cadence, which is where I got the name from. The primary goal that I want to do this year is going to be a 6-month plan. The primary reason I'm doing 6 months and not a year is because last year for my triathlon training, they canceled an event and they made me transfer it to the following year, which is going to be in November. So I'm going to do the first 6 months of that and then the second months of training for the event. That's why I'm doing 6 months. What I'm going to do is try to make it as fun as possible. Of course, the amount of hours I'm planning to put into this, if it's not fun, I'm just not going to be able to make it. The scoreboard, which I think is probably one of the most important parts to hold myself accountable, I'm going to break it out into 2 portions. The first portion is going to be time, which is I'm just going to let a measure, like, hey, this day I did this much time. Maybe break it down by subject that I haven't really decided yet. For the lag measure, which is basically what is like the final outcome of things, I got a corkboard. My plan is to set up the corkboard and have pictures like on each little square, and then this is going to fill it out. It's going to be both fun to see kind of like the progress, and it's a quick way for me to determine whether or not I'm moving the needle, right? So the lead measure is going to be more for graphs, and the lag measure is going to be more for like the outcome. The first 30 days, which already kind of started, I haven't made the video of it yet, but I want to develop the new habit of doing art consistently. I'm not really focusing as much on time. I'm trying to at least do an hour a day, 4 days a week. Ideally, I'd be doing 5, but I still got other things going on, chores and all this other stuff. So I'm not really trying to do 5 just yet. By the end of it, my plan is 5, if not more. The most important part at the beginning is as I'm training, so like especially with recording or art supplies or anything like that, get ahead of it. Since right now I'm only really doing 1 hour, it's going to give me time to get ahead of like purchases for different items, different equipment, anything like that. So I want to make any purchases for like video recording or anything advanced like that. That's going to take me time now. So if I do recordings later, which I'm not sure if I'm going to record every day, but just when I'm in the mood for it, I can keep on doing that as well without any downtime of prep work, right? So the long-term goal, like I said, is going to be blackout bingo. The blackout bingo is going to be in 6 months. So in 6 months, I really want to do an art gallery event. I think one of the biggest concerns I think most people have, I kind of do as well, which is I'm killing it before it starts, is if I have bad art and I go show up to an event, I don't want that to be an excuse. So I'm going to do it. God willing, and however good my art is, whether instead of people buying it, I have to pay people to get it, like whatever I got to do, it's going to happen. And I know you guys have been noticing some of this clip art and how incredible it is and where I got it from. Well, made it all in MS Paint, so kind of proud of it. It took me a little bit, but not too long. All right, so this is going to be the ideal cadence, right? So the ideal cadence is not what I'm starting off at. It's kind of like the long-term plan that I have as of this moment. That doesn't necessarily mean at some point I'm going to change it. Don't like the setup, but I guess the things that I want to focus on is making sure that not only am I spending time in actually working towards something, but I'm doing like the proverbial sharpening of the saw. So each day is going to include maybe like drills or memorizations. Some days are going to be focused more on one thing or the other. So Mondays have just really been prepped because I'm still working on the day-to-day. So Mondays, like, it's the first day back to work. I get to relax after a long weekend of presumably doing art and taking care of other things. Now, anatomy is going to be a big part. My long-term goal, maybe not this year or the year after, but hopefully by the end of the year, is I really want to focus on portrait art or just being able to draw people. So 2 of the days of the week are going to be primarily focused just on physical art like people and that type of stuff is going to include memorizing, especially at the beginning, memorizing different parts of the body, maybe eyes, drills, maybe 45 minutes of it doesn't necessarily need to be at the beginning, but total amount of time looking back at the things that I did either that day or getting ahead of things, making sure that if there are like sizing issues, I can get better at recognizing proportions or maybe placement or things like that. Just making sure that I can get better at spotting things quicker. And I kind of overall want to spend a good amount of time not just doing the work, but reflecting on it, making sure not only I can refine my skill set memorization wise, but also be able to get better at intuitively spotting things. Now Wednesdays, I'm thinking like Wednesdays for the greats. So I'll probably spend like an hour maybe going to different artists. It doesn't necessarily need to be like painters or drawers or anatomy people. I mean, it could be anything whatsoever. And then trying to replicate what they did. Sometimes in my own way, and then I'm sure at some point I'm going to try to replicate it the way that they did it, which is more or less to keep it fun and also expand my like library, my repertoire of everything. So Wednesday is my growth and knowledge day. Again, Thursdays, also to do anatomy. It's my plan to do at least twice a week. And as you can tell, during the week, it's going to be 3 hours. I figure by the time I get off of work, I'll still have maybe a few good hours afterwards. And regardless of what I'm doing, at least maybe not month 1, but like maybe month 3, kind of be hitting close to this cadence, And then Fridays, just because they tend to be busy socially, I'm thinking one day optional. Basically, it's going to be my day of, basically whatever I'm in the mood for. If I know one week I have like a weak point that I want to work on or something I want to hit, Fridays is going to be the day. And then, of course, the long days are going to be the weekends. I'm thinking 4-hour days on Saturdays. My ideal is going to be oil paints. Of course, starting off with the warm up and then hitting the oils. And then on Sundays is going to be just long paintings. I'm sure that sometimes they might be a bunch of quick shorts, but I guess the thing I want to aim for is making sure that they're long drawings, right? Very detailed. They take time. So during the week, I won't be doing that, but during the weekends, I'm going to be doing long drawings. Of course, this is all subject to, like, let's say there's a wedding or something, I'm not going to do it, but this is the plan. This is what I'm aiming for. I just kind of want to lay it all down. Just to go back to a previous portion with the blackout bingo, I took a picture of this the other day. I did a watercolor for the very first time, and I printed it out. I have like this Polaroid printer. Here, let me put it on the big screen. So I got this little Polaroid printer. Basically, you can imagine each one being stacked up to the left, to the right, all the way across. Regardless of how good the art is going on the board. Probably not my regular like quick sketch drawings, but it's going to be, things that I spent time on. It's going to go on the board, and that's kind of my plan. Thanks, everybody. Hope to see everybody soon.